America is not a democracy. The people do not choose the president. Presidents are publicly confirmed by the Electoral College. It is the Electoral College that votes for the president, not the people. Now, based on your popular vote, whoever wins the popular vote in a state generally will carry all of the Electoral College votes for that state. But the electors of that state are not required to vote for the person that won the popular vote. So, for example, you beat me in Pennsylvania for the popular vote for president of the United States. You clearly won the popular vote. The electors for the state of Pennsylvania, 99.9% of the time, will vote for you to be president because you carried the popular vote. But they are not required to do so by constitutional law. And the reason they are not required to do so by constitutional law is the United States government is not a democracy. It is a republic. It is not the rule of the majority. It is the rule of law. That's why the word democracy is not in the Constitution. This is not a democracy. It is not the rule of the majority. It is a republic, the rule of the law. And who controls the republic? The aristocracy, the elite financial powers of this country. That's who really chooses the president. Now, if that is the case, why so much attention is put on the popular vote? Because since this is not a democracy, it is important to keep the illusion of inclusion alive and well. When people don't think they have a say in government, they overthrow it. When people don't think they have a say in government, they spark revolution. When people don't think they have a say in government, rebellions happen. So it is important for the power structure, the media, the corporate oligarchy to manipulate the American collective consciousness into voting for the person they pre-selected. It is important that the people come to the same conclusion through manipulation and indoctrination as the power structure. When the power structure chooses one president and the people choose someone else, then the illusion of a democracy begins to yield its dirty head. And that can spell trouble for maintaining the status quo and the social order. For example, in our lives, we've seen twice where a presidential candidate who won the popular vote lost the White House. Al Gore won the popular vote. George Bush won the White House. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Donald Trump won the White House. They can't keep letting that happen, because the more and more that the people choose one person and the power structure choose another, when people start to see that we really don't control this government, we really don't choose our leaders, they start to rebel. And that's why so much energy is put into the popular vote, because it needs to confirm the selection of the secret government. Now, with that being said, who do I think the power structure wants in the White House at this moment? Because they normally select presidents a couple years in advance, by the way. At least 4 years, they already know who's going to take the place. They leave nothing up to chance. I'm not sure who they want. And the reason I'm conflicted is because they made Joe Biden stand down. A part of me says that they wanted Biden, but he's not popular enough to carry the popular vote. Again, maintaining that illusion of democracy. So part of me says they wanted Joe Biden, but he's no longer popular enough to hold the popular vote. So to keep the illusion of democracy alive, we got to tell Barack Obama to tell him to stand down. Let's put somebody else in that spot and see if they can carry it. That's a part of me. The other part of me could see a Donald Trump. And the reason another part of me could see a Donald Trump is Donald Trump and Republican presidents in general are pretty good for war. They're very good for sparking up war. But although they're good for war, they are poor at building relationships with second and third world nations. Why am I bringing that up? China is on the rise. China is on the global takeover. Can Donald Trump build the relationships with South Africa? Can he build the relationships with Nigeria and Cameroon? Can Donald Trump build the relationships with Ethiopia and Egypt that the shadow government needs America to have so they can continue to go into the mother continent and freely exploit the resources? I'm not sure Donald Trump is the president to build those political relationships with Africa, Jamaica, Brazil, so forth and so on. I'm not sure he's good for that. And if he's not good for that, if the shadow government doesn't believe Donald Trump is good enough to build those diplomatic relationships so white corporate America can continue to rob the resources of the black nations of this world, then they might choose resources over war. It's really going to come down to whether or not the shadow government values the Chinese threat more or the need to make money in war more.